Hello friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video, I am going to be putting together a layout using the Teach Story Kit from Ali Edwards for Story Kit Crush. This was a kit that came out in the later part of 2021 and is the second of the newer kits that I'm working on as my new kit series for this month. So those are the videos that are coming out every Friday. The last 2 weeks, I did a couple of layouts with the Care Story Kit, and then today I'm switching gears and using Teach for my last process video for Friday. Next Friday, if you come back here, you're going to see a flip through of all the projects I created using the Care Story Kit and all of the layouts I used using the Teach Story Kit. So if you want lots of different ideas and you want to see everything that I made with the two story kits, next Friday you're going to be able to see all of that. Today we're working on a traveler's notebook layout. For this one, I was inspired by the negative chipboard pieces. Anytime there is a story kit that comes with the chipboard that looks like this, they're basically two 4x4 negative pieces with roughly 2-inch circles, 4 of them inside of the, punched out, whatever. So the chipboard circles themselves are almost 2 inches. They're a little bit less, maybe like 1.75, which leaves me with 8 different circle frames, right? Because we get a little bit of the color around each of those circles. And I love taking advantage of that. Because these are roughly 4 inches by 4 inches, you can stack them on top of each other and fit them on one page of a traveler's notebook. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. It does bulk up my album, my notebook. And for me, that's something that I don't necessarily mind. I kind of like having chunky albums like that. They're fun for me. They're fun for me to create, and they're fun for me to go back through and look at those stories again. So that does not bother me. If it's something that bothers you and you don't want it in a bound book like this one, you could always create 2 pages that are each 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, and then slip those down inside of a page protector to go into a Life Crafted album, or put them inside of a 6x8 story album. So there are lots of options open, but I definitely recommend holding on to these and using them in a fun way like I'll show you today. So in addition to those pieces, I have also pulled out a transparency journaling piece here. I think that actually has the protective plastic on it. Let's get that off. Yep. And then I also have a chipboard piece that says, "Here to learn always." And so what I decided to do for the story this time is to pull some pictures from the first day of Izzy going to first grade. So this is her first experience in a public school system. And I printed off 8 of them in that about 2-inch size. Now the circle of my photo is slightly larger than the circle of the negative piece, and that is okay. I just wanted it to be roughly the right shape so I can then position it where I want it to go, and then I'll trim out around the rest of it. That is not a big deal to me. And then I've also got this 6x4 card that came inside of the Teach Kit. It just has 6 spots that says this, 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 this. I filled it all out based on some memories of this particular day. And then what I'm going to do is fussy cut them out and put them down the patterned side of this traveler's notebook. This traveler's notebook is one that I purchased from Studio Calico. It is an older traveler's notebook that I got when it went on sale with some of the traveler's notebook kits that they had. And I love that they include some pattern paper and grid paper. So for me, this time I'm going to use the pattern paper as a background. If, however, there are ever patterns that you do not like, you can actually cover those up with white paper or whatever pattern paper you do prefer instead. For me, though, I liked this one. I felt like it went pretty nicely, even though it's got a bit more of a teal color, almost more like this color. That teal color still exists in this kit, and I felt like that was good enough for me, so that's what we're gonna go with here. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and put you on fast forward while I get everything assembled. And then once I've got this done, we will slow down and I will read the journaling before we conclude today's video. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so jumping into my layout today, first I'm going to take all of these photos and punch them out of the photo paper. So all of the photos I have here are printed at 2 inches, which is larger, as I said before, than the chipboard piece. And it actually makes it really nice because all I need to do is punch them out and then I can add adhesive to the back side of the chipboard stuff, the chipboard negative pieces, and then just stick those down onto the photos. And you'll see what I mean by that here in just a second. Once I had all 8 of my photos punched out, I then took the 6x4 journaling card and I'm going to fussy cut each of those 6 sections of journaling out of that card, leaving a little tiny bit of the darker, I want to say it was like a darker teal-ish sort of color around the outside of the journaling. Like it's almost like a stroke, like a brush stroke there that I added the journaling into, right? So I've got 6 sections cut out of the journaling card, and then I'm going to turn my attention back over to my photos. So I did, when I set this layup up, when I set up this layout on my computer, one of the things I kept in mind is that my plan for the plastic label and a chipboard piece is to put that into the middle part of where the 2 chipboard will meet up. And you'll see here in a minute what I mean by that. Because I knew I was going to have this really large element taking up a portion of 4 of those circles, I was very careful and precise in which pictures I chose to put in which circle, because I still wanted to be able to see Isabella's face or to see our family or to see, you know, whatever the main focus was of that photo when the middle piece was placed on top. And so because of that, I had to be real careful about which ones were going where, and then also tried to keep Isabella, or the subject of my photo, towards the edge of the circle. So you can see there in the middle ones, I've got the picture of Izzy where she's kind of more to the outer, like the outside of the circle. So she's closer to the left side on the one photo and then closer to the right side on the other photo. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So I have a picture where she will be closer to the left side, and then this one where she and Jonah are closer to the right side. The beautiful thing with this is all I needed to do was add some adhesive onto the back of those chipboard pieces, and then I could just plop it down on top of the photo wherever I wanted it to be positioned. If any of them poked out from the side, I could trim that off, no problem. And then I'm adding adhesive both to the back side of the photos, and then I'm also adding a double-sided, stronger adhesive to the perimeter and through the middle of the chipboard piece. So then when I take off the backing and I position it onto the traveler's notebook, double-sided adhesive is going to hold really strongly to the page, so I don't have to worry about this falling off. But then also the photos are adhered to, so I don't have to worry about them moving or adjusting if the adhesive on the back of the chipboard piece wasn't strong enough. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense there. Because those pieces are 4 inches by 4 inches, it does leave a tiny, tiny bit of a border around the outside of it from the paper. And you can see that there, which actually is perfect because that's going to allow me to still be able to close my book, since the chipboard pieces I put them as close to the right side as possible so that it gave me more room between the chipboard and the spine to allow it to close. Here is where I'm putting together the title piece. So I grabbed the plastic label, and that's going to go into the middle. Now you can see what I mean by I wanted to be able to see Isabella even when that piece was in the middle. I did take the Here to Learn chipboard circle and I removed almost all of the layers of chipboard backing because while I wanted this to be a title piece, I didn't want to add any unnecessary bulk. And that's something I probably could have even done to the negative pieces as well. I very well could have taken off a bunch of backing to make this layout less bulky, That's okay though. I'm still really happy with how this came together. That doesn't really bother me. So then once I had the title pieces where I wanted those to go, next I went ahead and positioned all 6 of the journaling spots on the left-hand side. And once I was happy with where they went, I permanently adhered them down and then date stamped to finish this page. All right, friends, that finishes up my layout for today. If you enjoyed seeing how this one came together, I would love a thumbs up on this video down below, and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you can catch all of my future crafty videos. This one I super love. I just really enjoy working inside of traveler's notebooks, and I love the challenge to find ways to incorporate my story kits inside of this type of documenting album. So for this one, I'll go ahead and I'll read the journaling, and this is just kind of the story of the day or the story of leading up to Izzy going to school for her first day. So here's what I said. I said, in the days leading up to Isabella's first day of school, we were able to go in person to the elementary school's open house. Here, we met her teacher, Mrs. Clark, for the first time. She was nice. Since we had enrolled Izzy at State Road later in the year than we expected, we only had a week to locate her class supply list and hit the stores to buy the stuff she would need this year. We originally found and purchased this oversized purple backpack, Izzy's current favorite color. It was enormous though, so after researching a bit more, we found a different, smaller backpack for her this year. Izzy and I also went to do a bit of clothes shopping too. I let her pick out a few shirts and pants for her school wardrobe. The night before her first day, we picked out her first day of school outfit. On the morning of her first day, Izzy woke up early and easily and dressed herself. She was very excited. We packed up the rest of her school supplies and her lunch bag, then the whole family set off on our way. Because of COVID, we couldn't get out and walk her to her classroom. So once we pulled up to the front of the building, Izzy put on her mask and backpack, jumped out of the car, high-fived the principal, and went in. And that's that. I guess she didn't technically high-five him, she fist-pumped him, but that's okay. I'm like, now that I think back on that. Anyway, so that is the layout that I've got here. Super love this. Love having this story documented. Love having the opportunity to use a collage of photos from the same moment or event, or just, you know, all featuring her on her first day of school, and having a bit of the story told of the details leading up to that first day. All right, friends, well, that is going to complete my video for today. And also, this is the last layout that I will be doing for the Teach/Care Story Kit Crush series this month. Next Friday, again, make sure to come back so you can see a flip through of all the projects I created for both Care and Teach. I will show you some of the layouts that I did over on Patreon, which I do have some additional process videos for both of these kits over on Patreon if you're looking for more process videos to watch. And then I will also show you the ones that I do off screen just for funsies. Those are usually the ones that are a little bit easier and ones that don't take a lot of explaining on how to put them together. So that's usually why I don't film the process videos. I just make them and then show them all to you later. So come back here next Friday to see a flip through of all the projects that I created with these 2 kits. Leading up to then, I also have a video next Monday that will show you a flip through of all the stories I created using the Breathe story kit. And next Wednesday, I'll be here live working on some Project Life. So keep an eye out for those videos. Until then, I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Enjoy the weekend ahead, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.